Hello. For this video, I have decided I want to go over a risk strategy. I wrote this out a few days ago. There still might be some things I want to add to it or go over more. I kind of didn't want to be susceptible to analysis paralysis, and I thought it's good enough. This is mainly built for being a small fish in crypto, but I think a lot of it can be used for other markets as well. Or, as you grow in capital, you can apply 90% of this stuff will probably be usable the more money you make. And that's what we're trying to do, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to apply risk strategically. I call it risk strategy because there's strategic ways to play risk. I have been playing a lot of Risk, the video game, the board game. And it's fun, man. But this, I think, is something to always think about when placing trades, buying, basically spot buying or if you're on chain buying. So we can go over it. Number one, I have how much capital can you afford to risk? That's really your number one thing in trading or especially crypto trading. How much can you afford to lose? If you're single, you're by yourself, you have a lot more area to lose. You have a lot more wiggle room. If you have kids, you have a family, it's a different story. It's always a good question to ask yourself, if I lose all this money, what happens then? Are you okay with that or not? So anytime you get into a trade, I think it's smart to say, okay, what happens if this goes down? What happens? What is the worst case scenario here? Not to always have fear when you go into the trade, because you definitely need to deal with fear, but you need to also ask yourself, am I okay if this trade goes down? And now for finding what to buy. So this is kind of where this is more so shit coins, like on-chain meme coins. Find something that has sold off but still has a really good amount of attention. Ask yourself what feels like a very low chance of actually going to zero. Of course, it can go to zero or near zero, but it is a question of less risk with most opportunity. So what that means is, and this muscle be developed way more over time. It is when a coin launches and it gains a lot of attention, maybe for a few days or even a week, there will be a sell-off, even if it's little. Now you really want to keep track of coins that launch with a bunch of attention or are gaining attention. A good example of this would be the useless coin last year around this time, maybe June 2025, when it launched. I remember on Twitter it exploded. It went crazy. But it went up for a few days, but I remember it dropped probably like 80%, 70%. And it's like it almost vanished, right? And those are one of those like coins where you can ask, like you might, depending on what the chart looks like, you might not want to place a large bet on it, but you can always risk, let's say 2% on something like that, right? Like a huge attention coin that sells off at 80% dip, has a pretty good opportunity for asymmetric bet. So like if you put in 2% of your portfolio And maybe it doesn't go up. Maybe it goes down. But I don't want to guarantee, but I can almost say for certain more if the coin generated a ton of attention. And I don't just mean being shilled by your favorite influencer. I mean being shilled by multiple. It's almost like that's the coin of the day, right? And there's always a coin of the day, but it's when it sells off. I would say 60 to 80% is when it's pretty good risk reward to put a little bit of money on the line. Sometimes the chart, it can take a week. It can take a few days to a week for a month. If it consolidates for a month, it's usually a good sign that it will rip pretty high, but then you have to hold it for, a month or 2 months, which seems like a really hard thing to do in crypto, right? But it's when it consolidates that long is when you really want to judge the community. Is the community sticking around? Which is kind of like the third point here, is what you don't want is something that has sold off and also feels like the community dies off at the same time. Stuff like that usually dies. You get the odd thing, like just a few days ago, that unstable coin, that USDUC, did like 1,000%, like 10x off the lows, right? Like or like Aura coin, last year. You will have the occasional coin that just goes, that gig ascends off the bottom, but it's that you're really just playing roulette, I think, at that point. Usually when people are telling you it is going to explode is when it still needs to sell off a bit. Yeah. When people are posting about the coin, doesn't mean it's going to go down a lot, but when people are excited on the timeline, it's usually when right before it dips a little bit, and when it becomes quiet again is when it starts to go up, is usually like after it drops 30% or something, right? If it's ranging and if it's up, people are like, oh, this is the time it's going to break out. Sooner or later it'll break out, but if it's at the top of the range and people are getting excited, that's usually you take profit, and then it'll sell off to the bottom of the range again, and it gets quiet, and no one wants to talk about the coin. Now, when it keeps selling off, if you have a few accounts that keep posting about that coin, that is a good sign. It means like you it's not just being backed by one person. Even if it's backed by one person, like it can be very strong. I remember last year, Troll Coin was backed by the same people for like 3-4 months, and that's usually a good sign. It means, they're not just gonna abandon it. Like a lot of the time what happens is people will post about it, or the council post about it, and it's going up, but as soon as you have that 80% drop, 60% drop, no one's talking about it anymore. That's not a good sign. A good sign is when you buy something, and even though if there is FUD, so like fear, or people spouting fear about the coin, or the chart goes down, you don't feel very anxious, you remain calm. There's just something about the trade that you trust going back up. Very fine line between intuition and hopeful belief. Yeah. Sometimes you buy something and it's not the Pico bottom, and it can definitely go a little bit lower, but you just trust the place so much that you don't mind it going a little lower. And that I would say is your intuition most of the time. You can definitely still be wrong, but you have enough trust in the community and / the cult. Something that a coin that starts to feel more cult-like is a good sign, where the memes are good. It's like you can't tear apart the community. behind it. So I think that is the trustworthiness, is like when it goes down, people are still going to be a part of this coin, and that helps you hold. It's like I'm not going to worry about it too much because it'll eventually go back up. Now, that doesn't mean you buy the top of it. No, I mean, you maybe you buy it and then it goes 15% lower or something, right? Where am I here? Often but not always, is when people are posting that they need it to come lower, or more and more reasons to not buy it, that the bottom is near. Yes, same thing as when it goes up. So your greed, when the coin goes up, your greed kicks in, and you want more and more, and you don't really want to sell because you want another 2x. Even if you made a 5x off the coin, right? You want another 2x, so you won't sell. It's the same thing when it goes low. Is oh my god, it just dropped 60%, but I know it's going to go 70-80%, so I'm not going to buy it. That's the exact same thing. It's just in reverse. When you master that, you make money. You keep your money. What matters most is if the community sticks around and keeps posting about it after the call accounts seem to have become disinterested in posting about it. That's basically what I've just been talking about. Yeah, what you're looking for is a coin that hasn't. And when I say coin, my videos are focused on crypto, so I say coin. But this goes for any stock, really. Like anything you buy. Like, if attention is kept on this, if the company is still relevant, then it's the same thing. If your company is making money, if the company is still relevant, it's like everyone uses the iPhone, so Apple stock goes up. You know what I mean? Everyone, or like so many people have Windows computers, so Microsoft's going to go up. Until people stop buying Windows computers, Microsoft's not really going to be a bearish stock. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. Windows, not computer, but you know what I mean. It's like ChatGPT, right? It's really hard at this point for people to stop using ChatGPT or Google, right? Like, it's one of those things that, because it has become so part of online and part of society, that it will probably just be around. And that's on a smaller version. That's what you're looking for in a coin. Is it just still around? Are people still talking about it, posting about it? Like, you know what I mean? Also ask if you actually see demand being put back into this. It's a little esoteric. But what does your feeling of the coin feel like? Does it feel like a safe coin worth holding? This muscle becomes more developed over time? Does it feel like this play is inevitable, that it goes back up? That attention and community are still backing the coin. That is your muscle that you will develop over time. It's really hard to explain. Like, someone can't tell you this is going to go up and you can just blindly trust them. They're saying that because that's based off their own pattern recognition. And you'll have your pattern recognition stored over years. It's just a muscle, a feeling, and your feelings can still be wrong, right? It's not really good to, this is where risk management comes in, right? Protect right here. Protect your money is way more important than making money. So even when you're pretty darn sure that your play is good, you're number one priority should still be protecting your lifestyle and protecting your peace of mind. Peaceful mind and lifestyle has the leverage, space, and time to continuously win over a longer period of time. Being content with what you have while also having the desire to grow is the foundation we need to have before growth can be sustained. So what that means is what I was saying before, like when you have a 5x and you want that extra 2x, you really need it. Your body really needs the extra 2x. This is you on the verge of losing your money again, because what you're still seeing as your lack, and you just made 5x, and realistically, if you sold it might do a 20x, right? But if you sold that 5x, you could wait a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months, and you can find another very, very feel-good, safe play, and you put that 5x. So let's say you had $2,000, you 5x into $10,000. Now you wait, let's say 3 months. Usually in crypto, I find every 3 months there's like an abundance of plays. Sometimes it's a little longer. Sometimes it can be 4 to 6 months, but usually 3 to 4 months there's another abundant round of plays that come out. So if you make that $10,000 and you wait, you might not even have to wait 3 months, but let's just say you do. You wait 3 months, and now you find, okay, really solid, feel good 5x play. You put that 10, well, let's say you took profit, because that's a smart thing to do. You put 5,000 in your bank account. Now you're playing with 5,000 instead of 2,000. You find another one of these really feel good plays, and you have $5,000 on this play. Now you hit a 5x. It could be 3x. It could be 5x. It could turn into a 10x. But let's say you hit another 5x, but you have 5K this time. So now you have 25,000. And again, this play might run to do a 20x instead of a 5x, right? But we just guaranteed ourselves 25K on the table. We go to Jupiter, we sell. Nice. And now you keep doing it. You don't, because when your coin goes up a lot, 5x is a lot. And if you're holding for 20x, that's really, like, there's so much people making money even off that move. You don't know if it's going to go that 20x, but what you do know is you just made $25,000. Well, $20,000 because we had 5,000, but you know what I mean. And this is protecting the money you make, and this is having sustainable path over a long period of time, which will generate wealth for you in a very short period, shorter than you think period of time. And you do the same thing, right? Let's say you just you're at 25K now. We're gonna put $10,000 into our bank, and now we're gonna play with $15,000. That's pretty risky. Maybe you'd put a little bit more in your bank account, but I don't know. Let's say we got $15,000 in the bank now and $15,000 in crypto. That's not bad. That's not bad because you got money on the side to back yourself up. You redo the process again with $1,000 or $2,000, and you're pretty good because now you'll start to learn to be like, you'll be able to be patient and be like, okay, I know there's opportunities that come again. You just have to be consistent at selling when you're up and taking profit, and you just restart the process. But every time you restart, you have a little bit more money to play with. And now you're playing with 15K, and now when you wait your 3 months, or maybe it's next week, you never know, right? But now you're playing with 15K, and now you're in a seat where you're making life-changing money, and you just still apply the same process though. And maybe all you need now is a 2x or a 3x, right? Like if you can make 15K off a 2x every few months, like you're gonna be quite comfy in a short period of time. So I have needing to make $1 million this month or by the end of this year is what will keep you broke. That's the mindset of, okay, I'm not satisfied with the 5x, I need the 20x, right? Like you're living in lack. There's a very big tweet from Huss, and I have it taped beside my computer. And it says, you're too hesitant to take profit because you're not confident enough in finding other trades. You've been posting about 4K Ethereum for weeks while it bled down to 3.4K. Reassess your strategy, bum, and work on consistency instead of preying on your luck and marrying your bias. Now, what he is saying is you are not living in abundance. You are living in this needing, lackful state of you need this one play to go up. There's abundance of plays around you that are moving, but you need this one to go up. And if you just would sell stuff that goes up and be patient enough to wait for the next stuff to come around. There's always the new coins people talk about, right? Like this right now, Zcash is going up a lot. Zcash is the coin right now. People are saying it's the new Bitcoin. It definitely can be the new Bitcoin. There are similarities with the halving cycle, and there's just pattern recognition. It has a lot of similarities as Bitcoin did in like 2016. So it definitely could it could repeat what Bitcoin did, right? But you don't know that, and you don't know if it will, and you don't know if it won't. So it's one of those things where it's just right now it's just a new coin that attention's on, and it doesn't hurt to have some money on it, right? Because if it is the new Bitcoin, you're going to make a lot of money even if you put a small amount of money on it. And if it's not the new Bitcoin, well, then you're thankful that you didn't put a lot of money on it. Because it pumped like 3x, right, off of March or February lows. So to me, it doesn't make sense to put like a ton of money in, but it does make sense to put in some money because the similarities are there with it. It's the new coin, and the similarities are there of looking like a new Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Oh, I needed a drink. I used to make a lot of videos, and I forgot how dry it makes my mouth. I'm not a very big talker. I don't talk much in the day. So when I do this, it's like, ooh. Yes, the same thing we kind of asked before is if this trade goes south, will my lifestyle be altered? What we want to be doing is conserving our lifestyle. Can I afford an altered lifestyle? Do you have rent? Do you have payments to make? We don't have total control over what happens to us, but we can do our best to be proactive and give ourselves peace of mind in case extremes do happen. There's always black swans. So, yeah, you do have to ask yourself, am I okay if this goes to zero? What am I going to do? And that's part of risk management, right? That's part of any strategies. What do we do when shit hits the fan? Not when, but if. Like, an opportunist would say if, so I'm going to say if. If shit hits the fan, what do we do? This will also help your fear. I think it is wise to ask yourself what you will do if worst case scenario happens, because it takes the anxiety away from it a bit. It helps you process it more. and saying, oh, I'm actually okay if that happens because I have a plan. Because, okay, let's say you don't have very much money, but you're trying to get ahead, right? So in that case, I would actually say you don't have a lot to lose. So if you don't have a lot of money, you don't have a lot to lose because you can just make more money. It's different if you have a certain lifestyle locked in and you have, $500 to $1 million, more, and you're putting that all in one trade. It's like, you could lose all of that, and it takes a lot of time to make that much money again, and you're just risking, you know what I mean? It's like if you're risking 2K or 5K, it's like you can make that you can make that money again, and but you still want to be not just buying dog shit. You still want to be buying stuff you feel good about, not just anything, or else you're always going to be trying to make that 2 to 5K again, right? And it's going to be it's going to be tiresome and stressful. So let's say you opened your trade, you have the trade going, you set your in and out positions. Usually I draw a box at the top of the range and a box at the bottom of the range. Yeah, so when you have a chart, I'm not going to open up charts right now, but when you have, can I draw on here? I don't really know how to use this application. Can I draw? You know what I mean. If you have a range, draw your ball at the top or the bottom of the range. Are you closer to the bottom or the top of the range? This is a really good question. I think Hart posted back in 2022 or something like that. That's always stuck with me. Is would you rather buy or would you rather sell here? And that is a question I don't ask myself enough when the trade goes up, or when it goes down, really, because would you rather buy or would you rather sell here? Can save you a lot of money, because if you say, okay, if you'd rather sell here, if you're looking at the chart and you don't have money in it, would you rather buy or you sell here? You're not attached to it, so you can easily answer it. And you're going to have to be the judge of that. Like if you have your boxes drawn or your lines drawn at the top and bottom of the range, if you're closer to the bottom of the range, you're probably saying, oh, I'd rather buy it. If you're closer to the top, you're probably saying I'd rather sell it. The goal is compounding, like we talked before, not praying that your coin is the next $2 billion market cap runner. There's very few coins, especially nowadays, there's very few coins that go to 2 billion market caps, maybe a few coins a year, right? And your coin could be that, but so it is always, and Messi would say this too, right, is when it goes up, and if there's a chance of it being that 1 billion, 2 billion runner, it's the next Pepe or it's the next dog with hat or whatever, right? Like you can leave a tiny bit of money on the line, because if it is that, you're going to make a lot of money even from the little bit you left on it. But if you're leaving everything on the line, now you're basically saying, I don't value the money I just made, and I don't value the lifestyle that this money has helped me earn. What did I write here? You did due diligence, example. Oh, I think this is exactly what we just were talking about. You did due diligence and decided to invest $1,000 into a coin near or at the bottom of its range. You don't mind holding for a while because you feel it'll go back up and has stuck in its range. This is after you do your due diligence, say, okay, there's a good community behind it. The coin goes up near the top of the range eventually, which could take weeks to a few months possibly, and you turn your $1,000 into $5,000, or $10,000 if it goes higher, 10x. This is basically just saying if it does it, do a 5 to 10x. And I have sell everything, but leave maybe 10% of it in the coin just in case it does actually go a lot higher, to save yourself from feeling bad. You will feel worse holding your big gains down, especially if it was life-changing money. So people will say, like, let's just finish this before I go on. If it goes on to be the next Pepe shaped fart coin, well, you will make good money on the 10% you left in there anyways. Yeah, that's what we just said. People will say you'll feel worse missing out on the coin that goes higher than you will selling, or than you will holding a coin down that you were up massively on. And I really disagree with that, because it feels, if you made, like, I remember one of the first coins I ever bought in crypto was in DeFi summer, and I think it was like Esprit, or I think it was Esprit, and I bought pre-sale. I snuck into a pre-sale and I put like $400 on this coin, right? And dude, it just kept going. It kept going, and I think I actually made $60,000 from this. But I totally rolled the whole thing down because, I first got into crypto, and my belief was, everything just continues going up. But man, it went from, I don't know what the price was, but I made like from $400 to $60K. It's like, that did just keep going up, and I didn't sell because people were telling me it was going to do another 2x, right? But like, I can't fathom that what was going on in my head, right? I didn't possibly conceive that this was ever going to go down, and it just kept going. It just kept bleeding down. But I'm just like, no, I have to hold it because I need the money that I was promised, right? I need this to go into 100, 200K, right? But if I would have just taken the money at the table and even reinvested into Bitcoin or Ethereum or been patient enough for the new coin to launch, right? It would have set me up pretty darn good, right? It is absolutely crazy, the mindsets, and the same thing goes for, so that's it. It is very, very painful holding something down all the way when you've seen how much money you had when it was up. And I think that pain hits a lot more than the pain of missing out on something that's running. Now, you're a job as being in risk strategy, you need to account for both things happening. So you say, what if this goes down all the way? Now you assess. You say, okay, maybe I'll sell 90% of my position if you're up crazy, because there's the other side of it that's still, what if this is the one that's the next Doge or Shiba, right? And if it is, well, you leave 5% on or something like that because you just made crazy money. And if it is that new one, you're gonna keep making crazy money, but you're not if you hold it all the way down. Yeah, if you've made life-changing money, put 70 to 80% of it in your bank. Example, if you had 1K, made 10K, put 8K in your bank. And this is being very conservative, which is the best thing to do long term. I think this will have to do with experience, and you'll have to know yourself. I would say if you don't know yourself and don't have experience, for sure put more into your bank, because now the goal isn't just to keep trading and stay in a loop. The goal is to create wealth, become wealthy. Do not risk your entire bag of money you just made from the trade. Yep. It may work out again and you become financially free off of 2 trades, but you are playing with the devil and taking risks like this without care or restraint. You will surely lose it all at some point if you continue. You will. If you keep trading with your whole bag, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4 trades, and you might have luck on your side and run that up. And you will make a ton of money if you run it up like that. But if you keep doing it, you will eventually lose doing it like that because because that's how she goes. You can't always be right. And maybe, I don't know, maybe there's someone is, but let me know. Let me know. You're doing the same thing. Do the same thing with 2K turns at 10K or 20K, 5X, 10X. Put maybe 16K into your bank off that 20K and play with 4K. See, this is compounding, but at the same time, you're putting more and more into your bank each time, and you have a bigger number to play with. So it is a logger. I don't know the formula for it, but it's a logger. It's exponential or logarithmic. Quick math. I think it is logarithmic, means it grows more and more each time. Because pretty soon, if you keep doing this, you'll have 100K in your bank and you'll be trading with 10K. So all your returns, you're gonna be pulling in 50K to, you can do the math. Obviously, when you get into higher net worth, you will have to find different stuff to put your money in. So as you grow, if you have $1 million, you probably won't be playing small shit coins. You'll probably be playing the bigger shit coins because you can still take out 200K and stuff like that. Liquidity wise into the bigger meme coins, but then you're probably looking at you're staying to the majors, or then you're playing with stocks, pretty much stocks and majors. So stuff like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Hyperliquid, Tau, Zcash, bigger stuff that has liquidity on bigger exchanges and so forth. You'll see that over time you're putting more money into your bank, allowing you to live nicer, feel nicer, and not pressure yourself into trading. But at the same time, we are growing our trading stack. Yeah, you're not trading to make money anymore, but you're trading to conserve and grow your wealth. You're not trading to survive anymore. And you never really should be anyways. If there's an asset you feel good about, there are feelings to know whether you're positioned well or not. This is the last part of the video. If it goes down and you are nervous, anxious, constantly looking and overanalyzing the chart, you are overinvested and are in a play you do not trust. I would say yes. Obviously, yes. So these go hand in hand. You can be overinvested. You shouldn't really ever be overinvested, but you can be more so overinvested in something you really trust. So like, for an example, when Bitcoin crashed during the COVID crash, right? It's like, that's the point where you sell your car. You know what I mean? Like, in something you really, really, really trust. So I'd say trust is more important than trust will come first. You can't overinvest in something that you do not trust. You shouldn't even be investing in something, let alone overinvesting in something that you do not trust. It should be an asset in which if it goes down, you still feel confident about it going up, even having cash on the side, hoping it goes down lower to buy at a very discounted price. That is a really good sign that you're in something you trust, because you're not worried when it goes down, like we're saying maybe like 10 minutes ago. you're actually hoping it goes down so you can buy more. That's how you know that the play is probably a better play. So when it goes down, are people still sticking around? Then you can put some more money in, right? If it goes down, you're unfazed, or just go, okay, I'll buy a little more. You are in a good position mentally and strategically. Yep. Having cash on the side is always a good feeling. Last point, long point. If it goes up 4 to 5x or more, and you are saying to yourself stuff such as, I'm not satisfied, has not hit my target, I can get more out of this yet, that is your signal that you should most likely sell some. That's what we were saying before. Sometimes the play does not give you everything you planned on it giving you. That is very important. Sometimes you have your lines and your boxes lined up, and it almost goes to your boxes, but it doesn't quite. And it's like you have to ask yourself, well, it goes up 10 more percent, it hits my box. Well, I'm not going to sell because it hasn't hit my box. Now you're just being stubborn. The chart does not have to go anywhere where you set a line or a box. It does not have to do anything that it does not need to do. It is a gift that it went up near your box in the first place. So you should probably still sell. Sometimes the play does not give you everything you plan on giving it. Yes, be thankful. Be thankful for everything, not just money, but everything in life. This is basically be thankful, abundance mindset, right? There's always another play around the corner. Do not get attached to positions, no matter when individuals tell you to believe more. Your goal isn't to believe in their cause. Your goal is to build financial freedom for your own cause, your own family, your own community, your own peace of mind. And I will leave that video there. Yes, I hope you enjoyed. All right. Good night. Bye for now.